Ever find yourself manually doing the same repetitive tasks over and over again? Yeah, me too. A little bit every day, but not anymore. Michael here, and I use AI every day as my expert for everything. But today, I want to introduce something pretty cool: how AI can actually write computer code in the real world. Sound complicated? Don't worry, I'll keep it quite simple. Even if you've never written a line of code in your life, you're going to see firsthand how AI makes it super simple to automate your work and save tons of time. I'm not talking theory here. This is how I'm automating my work with AI. Let's jump on in. But first, let's go back to early 2024 when NVIDIA's CEO makes a bold claim, saying programming is no longer a vital skill. His words, not mine. But hear me out. He argued that instead of learning to code, we should focus on fields like biology, education, and manufacturing. Because you now have a computer that will do anything you tell it, whether it's automate work, amplify your productivity, or just make you more efficient. But he wasn't the only one that's been saying this. If you remember, later in the year, Google came out saying AI is already generating 25% of the company's new code. That means a quarter of Google's engineering work is already being automated. Not in the future, but right now. And it doesn't stop there. Just this year, Mark Zuckerberg said mid-level engineers making six figures may soon be replaced by AI. So this isn't just speculation, it's happening now. But where does that leave the rest of us? So you got NVIDIA, Google, Zuckerberg, all saying AI codes better than us. Are they right? Well, in my case, they are. But here's the thing. You don't have to be a coding expert to code anymore. With AI, just having an idea can be enough. You see, I've been experimenting with ChatGPT to dust off my old computer coding skills, and now you can too. Here's what we're going to cover today: how to turn a tedious task into an automated workflow fast. How ChatGPT can write, fix, and improve code just by asking. So let's jump in. So in this scenario, imagine you're leading a professional services team. After every project your team completes, you send a customer satisfaction survey out. And then you follow up with the people to discuss feedback and explore additional consulting opportunities. Here's the tracker I have: the spreadsheet showing recently completed projects and survey status. Now, today, I need to follow up with each one of these clients over email, either to thank them for sending the surveys which they sent so far, or to remind them that they still have an outstanding survey, which I'm hoping they'll fill out. This process is going to be time-consuming and repetitive, but what if we could automate this? So with AI, it's all about asking the right questions. It's all about the prompts. And so here is my super prompt that I'm going to write this application with. So it starts off with, I need an app that lets me upload an Excel spreadsheet filled with project and client satisfaction data. The spreadsheet includes 10 columns, and I'll list each one of these columns. Once I upload the spreadsheet, the app's going to automatically group the projects by unique client contact based off their name, and then it's going to draft personalized emails summarizing the projects. So the email content is going to vary based off whether the client has provided feedback. So I always like to say, if you know what success looks like, just tell it in the form of an example. So I've identified 3 scenarios. So the first scenario is if all the project feedback is missing. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to send an email saying, dear client contact name, I hope you're well. We recently completed these projects. And we're going to list all of the projects: project name, deliver date for each project that we've completed. And then we're going to say, really appreciate your feedback, and provide a link for them to provide feedback. Thank you. And we'll sign it the project manager. The second scenario, if all projects have received feedback, we're going to do a separate email that says, thanks for the feedback. And we're actually going to show what feedback we received by saying, here's the project name, deliver date. We'll indent a little bit after that and say, here's the satisfaction score and the comments that we have received. We'll do that for each of the projects. And then we'll say, would love to schedule some time to review the feedback and make sure we're aligned on next steps. And then third, a little more complicated. So if we have a mix, so if some of the surveys have been received and others have not, I just want to send one email to the client. I don't want to bombard them with emails. So merge everything together in one nice, neat email. Here's an example of what it'll look like. I'm going to continue on a bit, and I'm going to say, I like working with web pages. And so I'm going to say, I want this to be a web app. So I'll say, draft each email. It should be displayed on a clean web page for me, with the client's name, the company, the email clearly shown above it. The draft should appear in just plain text, And I want everything to be in text boxes so I can easily see it and view it. But next to each email draft, I actually want to say, let's create a button that says create email in Outlook. When I click on it, the app should dynamically generate a mail to link that's going to open up a pre-filled out email in my default email client. This specific link, it's going to set the client's email to as the recipient. It's going to copy the project manager. I want the subject line to say something like follow up on recent projects with the specific company contact or the company name. And then I want to say the email body should be formatted in plain text. And finally, since I've done this a few times before, I have some technical specs that I want to add. First, I'm going to say build the app with Flask. It's a Python add-in that lets me run everything on a web page. It's going to accept an Excel file for uploads. It's going to create plain text emails. And the mail to link, if there's any special characters, it's going to handle those okay. And finally, I want the interface to be simple, user-friendly, and something that non-technical people can easily navigate. All right, that's a lot. Bring it all together. It's 2 full pages of a big prompt. It's super long because I actually have 3 examples listed in there. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything listed on there. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it over to ChatGPT, hit enter, and bang. We're going to see what happens here. Immediately, it starts printing things out by saying, all right, I got it. I'm going to build an app. Here's actually what the app is going to do. So it regurgitates things like it's going to draft emails. It's going to display results in a web page. Let's see what else. It's got some technical specifications. It's going to use Flask to write everything we have listed on there. It's going to have an example mail to link. I'm not too technical, not sure what it means, but I'll go with it. Next steps, I can create the code. Yes, I do say, please generate the code for me. So it's going to come on in here and say, well, here's the first program. It's a Python program. Looks great. Looks pretty detailed. Not sure what it does, but I have a separate one. An HTML file because it's a web page. All right, let me know if you need anything else. Yeah, let me know how to implement this on my Mac. All right, install Python, create your environments, make sure you have your packages in there. Get your code listed for the Flask code, your HTML code, and then you finally run it. Okay, well, let's see if we can go through that step by step in the process. Look at all that. It's also got some optional information in there. I'll skip that for now. All right, let's go grab the code as the first step. So I'll scroll up. I'm going to copy the code for my Python script. I'm going to go over to Virtual Studio. That's my code viewer. Paste everything in there. I'm going to go save as. Let's call this service emails.py because it's a Python script. Hit enter. Great. Let's go back over. There's one separate file. This is HTML. All right, let's go back in. Paste that in there. In the implementation step, I thought I saw something special in there. Going back over, it did say this needs to be in a templates folder. So another part on there, it actually came out and said, here's the file structure of what the 2 files are going to look like. So I'm going to have my main folder. It's going to have a Python script file I'm going to listed. I'm going to have a templates folder, and that's where the index is going to go in there. All right. Now I know where to save this. I'm going to say new folder. Let's call this templates. Enter, and let's save this as index.html. Save. Perfect. All right. So what have we done? If you remember, how do I implement this on my Mac? It came through 6 steps. So the first was install Python. I already had Python installed. Create the virtual environment. That's a little more advanced. It's just I copied and pasted my 2 commands in terminal and set that up. 4 and 5, the Flask code was when I copied my Python code. HTML code is saved. I just need to install the Python packages where I just copy and paste that into my terminal. So I'm going to say pip install, and then I'm going to run it. I copy that. Let's paste this into my terminal. Pip install. I got those packages. Not exactly sure what each one does, but it did say to do that. And then to run it, you say Python 3 service emails.py, and that's going to activate my web browser application. That's the URL, which I'm going to access it from. I'll copy that, go in there, paste it right on into my web browser. This is a pretty simple program. Upload the project files, an Excel file, and I got a generate button. So let's go ahead and see if this thing works. So first step is I click on the upload the file, and generate. Uh-oh. Error message. I don't know what any of this stuff means, but not to fear. I'm just going to copy everything listed on here. Copy it. Let's go back into ChatGPT, paste everything in. I did everything you recommended, but I'm getting this error. Basically, help. And I'll paste it in there. Hit enter. See what it says. Oh, that was fast. Oh, I see what's happening. There's an error because of some project date deliver, some date thing. And it says, a quick fix is just change this one line of code. Okay, we can do that. What else do we have listed in there? It says why the thing works. Here's some optional stuff in there and how to test it again. Okay, well, shoot, I'm not that technical, if you guys remember that. I just want the full code. I don't want to be messing with one line of code. So I say, please provide the full program code for me so I can just copy and paste everything back in. It says, I gotcha. It says, here's the full code. So we have your application that's listed right there. With all the corrections are all put in. Perfect. And also they gave me the index.html code that actually has no change. So that wasn't necessary, but helpful. So I'll scroll back up to the Python code, click copy, select my old code, paste everything in, hit save, and it looks like it's rerunning automatically. Okay, goes back on in. Let's upload our file again and see what happens. Upload the file and let's click that generate button. Success! Hey, it looks like it's working. So let's zoom in a little bit and see what we have here. So it looks like it's got the client contact name with the company. The email, it's separated. That's really easy to understand. The email, it's got the person's contact information. Looks like it's got some satisfaction score information. Coming down, there's an email that's got both scenarios. It looks like we received some feedback and also some that we still need some feedback. Oh, wait a second. I think I see something on there. Projects pending feedback. I do not see a response saying, please send the feedback. We need that information. We could actually go back into our ChatGPT client and say, hey, you forgot to add the link. Actually, we never gave it a link. We probably need to give it a link, but just with a quick conversation, we can tell it to add it, give me the full code, and get back to where we are right now. But let's try this create email and Outlook button. If we click one of those, what's going to happen here? So this is pretty cool. So it looks like the two comes up with the client name. We're copying the project manager. The subject is dynamically created with the client name. Emails pasted in there. That looks great. Let's try another one in there. One other one. Everything's looking good. So when I did this before, I launched it with 15, 17 emails for a separate task. When I was just clicking all the send Outlook button, I clicked Outlook 15 times and it really sped up my workflow to get everything done. And just like that, we built an automated workflow with AI doing all the heavy lifting for us. So we took a real world problem, time-consuming email follow-ups. We used ChatGPT not only to write the code, but also debug it a little bit with us. And we don't even need to be experts in programming. And in minutes, we had a working tool that saves minutes, hours, days of manual work if I'm going to be doing this every day or every week as part of my job. And this is what AI is all about. It's not just theory, but it's real practical impact in our daily lives. If you ever have or had an idea for a cool tool or wished you could automate something as part of your job, this is your sign to give it a try. So go ahead, experiment, build, and see what AI can create for you. And if you do, let me know. I would love to know what you come up with. Catch you on the next one.